So this is all about narcissism. So now let's look at the group dynamic. You've got the head narc. It's just like the wolf pack mentality. And then you have a group of people, flying monkeys around them that are underlings, right? Here's the deal. They will suck someone into the group. They'll find someone. Here's why. Because they don't want to be at the bottom of that group. My goddaughter said it best when she was in 10th grade. She came over from school. She was really upset. And we ended up talking. I go, God, it sounds like a wolf pack mentality. She goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you got the top dog all the way to the bottom. She goes, oh, it is. I'm like, well, what do you mean? She goes, you don't want to be the bottom two girls. I'm like, well, why is that? She goes, because they get treated like shit. So in 9th grade, all the girls get treated like shit from the upperclassmen. This is what she was telling me. And she said when I was in 10th grade, you kind of get a little slack because you're not the bottom. And those are the ones that everyone normally goes after, is the bottom girls. But if a girl tries to make you look bad and it appears that way, then it's like, even though you're in 10th grade, you're still equal to these. And now you got to go through it again for another year. And so she was really upset about that. And we had to work on how to get her out of that. And so, but it's the same thing in a narcissistic group. That's what they do. They like to find someone, a stranger, and they love them. They do the love bombing thing. They pull it in. They start pulling your strings. Everyone, oh, you're so nice. But then everyone starts to turn on you about the same time, the same week. And what they're doing is oh, you're wrong. You're bad. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, what's wrong? Are you insecure? And they start to play all the mind games. Here's why. Because they don't want to be at the bottom. Because that person is going to be mind-fucked and treated like shit. And I'll give you a real-life example that happened to me. In the last couple of videos, I talked about how my best friend Greg, he had pulled me out of my family. He said, you got to get the fuck away for a year, and then you go back, and then you'll see it. And I did. I was like, holy shit. Let me tell you what happened. So I left for a year, and I came back. The first day, they were all, hey, what's going on, Mike? And they were kind of cool, didn't do anything mean. But you could tell there was this, like lizards kind of flicking their tongue trying to, figure me out, right? The next day, they just started, going after me. So I went and talked to my sister, and I'm like, well, what's the deal? She's like, you have no idea what we've been going through. We've been going through hell. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, like, why you're yelling at me like somehow it's my fault? She goes, well, it is. I'm like, I wasn't even here. What are you talking about? She goes, well, and I had a gut feeling. I go, I know what it is. None of you want to be at the bottom, and you guys are all at each other's throats, and you guys are fighting to the death because none of you will. And she goes, that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been fighting. And I go, yeah, exactly. She goes, you need to come back because that's your position in the family. And I was like, oh my God. Like when you see it, you're like, I'm cussing. That's fucked up. So not all groups are like this, but a lot of groups will have a scapegoat type of mentality. So you've got to learn to speak up for yourself. You've got to learn to be like, no, I'm not putting up with this. Nope. You've got to learn to have self-respect, meaning don't let people treat you that way at all. So there is a higher level. Now watch this. The higher level is people that use the phrase and in both, plus and more. It's really simple. It comes down to math. And I learned this in Algebra 1 in Chapter 1. Okay, it's like you've got negation signs, you've got multiplication, and 1 and 1 equals 2, 1 times, or 2 times, so 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 and 2 equals 4, 2 times 2 equals, oh shit, that's a bad one, damn it. Let me use 4. So 3 plus 3 equals 6, but 3 times 3 equals 9. Then you've got the negation, 1 minus 1 equals 0, right? Plus, and then you got division in this, and you got plus, and all this stuff over here. So here's what I noticed. People that talk using negative terms, but, not, can't, won't, shan't, right? So the word but is a negation word. It negates everything you say before it. Well, I love you, but I want you to do the dishes. You literally just said, I don't love you, do the dishes, right? So I love you and I want you to do the dishes. Now here's the really cool thing. When you use the word but, not, can't, won't, shan't, and all those negative words, you're literally minusing and taking away from people. When you say and, you're adding to them. Plus, both. And I notice when I use this in conversation, even if someone was using negative words, they'll slowly come over and take a deep breath. I'm like, wow. The only people who don't like that is when I say, well, yes, that's one. That's a positive word. And that's definitely a plus sign in math. I'm talking algebra. Both, plus, more, sure, absolutely, of course. Rewind that and write those words down and start peppering them in your sentences because it'll make you feel better. Here's what it does. That artery I keep talking about, it opens that artery up and you start opening up to your larger human brain, especially your right brain. Here's the cool thing. It makes people feel good because now you're adding to them.
Now here's the deal with the narcissist. They are purposely using these negation terms because it limits your mind. It basically puts you in a little box and it makes you stuck. Now, people who are constantly using words like no, not, can't, but, they are also very frustrated and they get angry easy because what they've done unconsciously in their brain, it's like they've closed the door to any other possibility. And now they're stuck. It's like they're putting on the brake without realizing they're doing it. All you have to do is start saying and both, plus and more, yes, yes, yes. That's my mantra that I say over and over and over anytime I'm in a stuck state, and within minutes, it takes me right out of it. So yes, narcissists are using this tool. This is just one of many tools that they use on purpose to turn you against yourself. What they're doing with this one tool, using all negative words is no, can't, not, but, won't, shan't, can't. They're constantly doing this to anything that you talk about because what they're doing is they're putting you in a negative state of mind to where now you start to think in terms of negation, no, not, can't. And this is how they turn you against yourself. And now you're viewing everything in life, yourself, and the world from a negative perspective. My last narc would use the word but every time he would talk about what I was talking about. So let's say he'd ask me a question, I'd start to answer the question. He'd go, but Mike. He would say but Mike to everything. He's literally negation Mike, and to the way I'm thinking, which forces me into starting to think using those words no, not, can't, but, etc., to everything I think. And this is how they turn you against yourself. Now, all you have to do to escape this and get out of this grasp of the narcissist, to open up your mind again, is a couple of things. Really super easy. Number one, use my mantra, and in both, plus and more, yes, yes, yes. And now listen to the way I'm saying. It's kind of loud. It's boisterous, not and in both, plus and more, yes. It's like, take a deep breath, and in both, plus and more, yes, yes, yes. And in both, plus and more, yes, 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 okay? And go for a walk, a brisk walk for about 10 minutes or at least 5 minutes or more, and walk kind of fast, be kind of forceful, move your arms and take a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. In your nose and out your mouth. And do that until your lungs begin to stretch and expand. You feel good again because now you're oxygenating your bloodstream, and what that will do is that will open that artery up again, okay? So while you're walking, do that deep breathing for a while and then start doing the mantra, and to both, plus and more, yes, yes, yes. This is the number one thing I do anytime I get stuck and I'm uptight.
Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Start paying attention to the words that narcissists, if they use like no, not, can't, not true, no, but, and they use the word but a lot. Oh my God, but, and the last one, what did I call him? Oh, I had a nickname for him, something, butthead, not butthead, it was something, or Mr. Butt. That's a sign for me, that's a big red flag. If someone uses the word but a lot and no, can't, not, shan't, I want to talk to them. Every single narcissist, 100% of the narcissists I have dealt with are always using negation words. And here's why. Because it closes that artery in your brain. It makes you very narrow, and it puts you into your reptilian brain in fight or flight. It's really because they're already there, and that's the language you use when you're there. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com, MikeKekollin.com. I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into what's going on in the human brain. Bye.